don't be afraid that, please don't judge me because I'm wearing shorts. All right, you guys, let's get rocking. So we're seated nice and long on our mat. Okay. We're going to have our legs nice and long in front of us. And then let's just relax our back. Make sure you have your ball or a small pillow or something that you can use for your headrest or for different movements when we do some flexions here. So just releasing your body. Let's just point and flex. Try not to drop into your shoulders. Keep your chest lifted, your back straight. We're always imprinting. We don't want to ever sag. We want to keep our core real strong all the time in every position. So point and flex. I constantly remind everyone that the best time to practice that is while you're driving. And since we seem to be driving a lot these days, pull your belly in when you're seated. Think about your imprinting. So you're alternating your points and flex. Okay. So now we're going to move ourselves into a flat position. Head is rested. Okay. So I want you to be able to see my body. Yes, you can see most of it. Okay. So your feet are flat, your knees are bent. You're going to bring your back really tight to the mat. So that pelvic tilt where you tip the tailbone up towards the ceiling and flatten out your lumbar. Okay. Then what happens is if you go up your back, your middle back begins to flatten. Pull it down. And then bring your hands to the ceiling and then push your upper back to the mat. So really feel how it begins to open up. Okay, it's opening up. All right. Now with your arms up to the ceiling, wrap them around you and give yourself a hug and rock side to side. Feel the movement. Keep going. Feel that movement. Keep rocking side to side. Now, once you're finished with that, bring your arms all the way up overhead. So you feel a full extension of your arm. You have a shoulder issue and you find that this is uncomfortable, then move your arms wider, okay? So they're wider, they're not overhead, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to do is go back to that spine on the floor. So feel that first pressure your lower lumbar, like close to your tailbone, onto the mat. Now, tuck it and lift that tailbone up to the ceiling and flatten your lumbar. Flatten your middle back, flatten your upper back, and hold that. Bringing your arms close beside you. You're coming up in tabletop. We're going to tap left, tap right. Just keep tapping. Going with your taps. Inhale, exhale. One more left and one more right. Good. Take your feet flat. Now bring your feet together and your knees together. And we're going to do a spinal, we're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders and a basic curl. But because your feet are flat and your back is down, you're pulling your rectus abdominis in. So you got the pubic bone. Right above it is the transverse abdominal, very dense muscle. Pull it tight. And then that strength of the muscle in your abdominals comes up through the belly space, okay? Think of that. So now in this position with your hands just by your side, roll up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now notice that I'm not leading with my shoulders. I'm leading with the chest and the head and neck, but I'm not hurting the head and neck. I'm not throwing it so far forward that I'm making the scalenes uncomfortable. Okay, head weight down, palms are flat. Let's just inhale the knees to the right. Exhale, center to the left. So you're doing this at a pace that is comfortable. You're not overextending the knees to one side. You're giving it the opportunity to wake up. Inhale, exhale. Good. Keep going. And release it. Okay. So now with your head down, your palms flat to the mat. So the left foot is flat, so your knee is bent. We're going to work with the right leg first. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull the knee in. So if my hands are on the lower part of my leg, okay? Never near the patella, never near the kneecap, just to the middle where the bony tissue of the tibia and the fibula are. So you're going to release your hands because the knee's all the way in, right? Now what I want you to do is extend the leg right over the floor, then lift it up. Bend the knee, extend it over the floor. Now, when you bring the leg up towards the ceiling, make sure that you don't you don't bring the leg so far over that you bend the knee. Keep the knee straight. Remember, we're always trying to keep the joints fully extended. Now, bend the knee and drop the foot. So we're going to do that again. Draw the knee in, hands on the lower part of the leg, hold it tight. So we had slid the leg down and up. So this time, what we're going to do is take the leg up, down, pull the knee in. You're just reversing the movement. Try to extend your leg as far as you can. Long, long, long. Feel that hip open up. Keeping this opposite knee bent gives you an opportunity to have a fuller extension at your knee. One more. Okay. That foot is flat. We're going to draw the left knee in. First, feel it come tight against your body. Nice and tight. Good, good, good. Flatten your back out. Release your hands. So let's slide the leg long, lift it up, bend the knee. So watch this opposite knee. Don't let it go out like this. You don't want it to drop, okay? Keep it engaged. Keep your foot down. Now exhale. Now let's bring our hands onto this leg again. Hold it there. Tight. So let's reverse this. So leg goes up, down, and in. Range of motion, it's really important. Foot is flat. Good. All right, let's cross the right over the left. you're going to let that right is over the left. We're going to drop our knees to the right. Okay. So you're going to hold it there for a minute. If you find that there's too much pressure with this leg crossed, then uncross it. Okay. There's always options here. Sometimes this can pull too much in the hip girdle. Really watch yourself. So stay there. Make sure your left shoulder's down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, bring it back. And uncross the leg to the other side. So cross it over. Slowly allow the knees to drop. Keep the right shoulder down. Remember, if it's too much pressure on the lower lumbar or through the hip girdle here, uncross the leg. There's always modifications for you. You probably already know what they are without me even having to tell you, because your body tells you. Inhale and exhale. It's an intelligent being, this body of ours. Okay. So now we're going to give our back a little bit of a release. So hands on the lower part of the legs. You're just going to pull your knees in. Just pull in enough that you feel that you're releasing some of your back. And release your feet. And again. And release your feet. And again. And again. Oh, feels good. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more of these and then we're going to get you off your back. So you're here. So we were just doing our knees pulled in and releasing. So instead of that, what we're going to do is something very similar, but I want you to lift in a nod and bow. Challenge yourself today if you can, okay? So we're flat, coming up. Now we're going to take it out and circle. So we have a double leg stretch. So if this full circumduction with your arm is uncomfortable, then keep the arms close to the body. One more. Head weight down. Drop your feet. And then let's drop the knees right, left. Keep going. Good. Okay. Then we're going to bring our knees in, okay? We're going to either roll right or left to get yourself up. Now, if you find that you can roll on your back, then do that, because this is a nice exercise to stretch out your spine. So if you can roll, roll. If not, move from right to left to sit yourself up. Good. Okay. So you're going to probably have your ball with you. So we'll do our spine stretches. But before we get to them, let's take this right leg and cross it over the left. So if this is uncomfortable and you don't have an extension here, then just take the leg in, okay? If you can cross it over, try it. Now, I am giving my leg a nice big hug. And in the meantime, I'm pointing my opposite foot to create some stress. Now, notice my back is really rounded, okay? Because I'm leaning into this. Now I'm going to come out of that roundness and I'm going to straighten my back. Inhale, exhale. Now, the next movement, stay right here. You're going to take your left hand and release it and turn. Drop it behind you. Use this for force to open up your rib cage. So your back is straighter. Your rib is exposed. Keep your shoulder down. Your hand is to the mat. If you need to lean back into this, then go for it. Come out of that. Cool. Other side. Cross it over. Giving yourself a hug. Opposite foot, point it. Raise the spine, right? Lots of connective tissue here getting massaged. Take that hand behind you, push and open the rib cage. And release it. Good. All right, so you did a little bit of rotation. At least it wakes us up. Legs together, we're out front, right? Now your arms are here. So we're going to do our spine stretch without any toys, okay? There's no ball or anything with us. We're going to try to do resistance against gravity, okay? So lifting your back. So you want to be here, right? But we're not. We're going to lift up to here. So we're going to keep long legs straight back. If you find you have to go here, then do that. There's no law that says you have to have a straight leg. Arms are out, shoulders are plugged, okay? Let's first do this. Take your arms outside and draw your arm into the shoulder girdle, okay? You almost feel like your scapula is pulling down. Then bring them forward again. Inhale, nod, bow. Spine stretch, come out of it. And again. So please use the breath. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. One more. Great, hands down. So one of the things I always like to stress about a spine stretch is when you lead, you're leading from the chest and the upper part of the shoulder. So that would mean that you're not leading from the head and neck and you're not jutting your head out. Your simple nod and bow is just that. It's a simple nod and bow. The front of the body is moving to elongate a lot of your paraspinal muscles. Good. Okay, legs wide. Good, good. So your legs are nice and long. If you can keep your knees straight, that's great. If you need to bend them slightly to keep your back straight, go for it. I want your back straight. That's the most important, okay? So I have my feet flexed. You can also point, or you can leave a neutral foot. I always like to do resistance. So from one end of my body resisting, I'd like the opposite to be resisting and working just as hard. That's why I choose to either flex or point, okay? So I'm gonna sit up real tall. Once again, let's bring our arms out, plug them into your shoulder girdle, and bring them back in the front. Inhale, nod, bow. Out of it, sit tall. Inhale, exhale. So feel how this is going a little bit deeper into your lower lumbar. It could also be going into the front of your hips from perspective of where it moves to, and your quads, you can feel. Good. And release it. Shake them out, shake them out. All right. So I love doing rotation. I just think we forget about rotation. And it's so important to do rotation. We flex and we flex so much during the day, right? We're seated, we're flexing. We extend by standing, but we should really do extensions more on our front in a prone position and extending, because that's working in the total opposite of the flexion we do all the time. But one of the things we need to be doing, and that is rotation. So for your homework this week, you're going to work on some sort of rotation. It can look like what we're doing, or you can do something else that you're used to safely. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring my feet in as tight as I can towards my groin space, okay? For some of us, our knees are going to be up here. So that means you're going to need to move farther away so that your knees are down farther, okay? So let's begin here. Use your elbow, bring it to the inside of your thigh, not near your knee. This is your anterior cruciate ligament. Nothing goes here, okay? Never pressure there. Pressure above it. Now, just flex forward. Inhale and flex forward. Simple stretches, but they are not simple to do. Don't ever take it for granted. Come out of it. Now slide the legs forward a little more. Feet are flat. So now notice that you can get out of back here and you come higher on your sits bones and your pubic bone. Rock on it. This is a good place to be, especially if you're on a soft surface. It really identifies and grounds you. So then inhale, same thing. So I can only speak for myself. When I do this, I have a tightness in my left quad and my left hip. It's a challenge for me to get here. So when I'm doing it, I want to really breathe through it. The breath is going to bring me deeper. It's going to help to give me more flexibility. And release. Okay. So keeping yourself here, we're going to do some rotation. So we're going to begin in a very simple, elementary, fundamental way. I like to think of little kindergartners and how they used to do this. So you're going to just twist yourself one direction, release it, twist to the other. So can you put your hands down on your leg and on the place behind you? Sure. Just twist. So now work a little deeper. Have your hand down behind you and then place your hand on the top of the quad of each leg. And use that for a little bit of force to move you deeper. It's not going to hurt you. Keep going. Good. All right. Shake it out, shake it out. Woo. Okay. So now we are going to take the ball this time and you're going to place it behind you. So the ball, if it's placed behind you right on your lower back, you're then going to let this lumbar relax onto it, right? So you're going to let it relax onto it and then pull yourself up away from it. So I'm going to pretend this is the ball. So I'm going to relax onto it, pull myself away from it. So what you're doing is you're going to try to separate using both your abdominals and your back to separate the whole back. Okay, so you're working lower back right now. You're flexing and you're extending the lumbar space. Good. Okay. So keeping that ball there. Now, the next thing you're going to do is with your ball there, I have to improvise because I don't have a ball yet. Plug in here. You're going to let the lower back drop. Then you're going to roll back. Inhale and exhale, lift. So keep your spine long when you come up and then go right into a spine stretch. So when we go back, we drop first the lower lumbar, then the middle thoracic, and then lift. See how I keep my back real straight when I lift, and then I flex forward. Go at your own pace. If this is a little too fast for you, find your happy place. You don't have to go the same pace that I'm going. Back, 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 back. So notice that I'm not letting my shoulders run this. I'm letting my core, my pecs, my clavicle, my back, they're the ones doing all the work. These are just extremities getting you to the next place. Up, 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 over, and release. Okay. So let's do this all so we can go into more rotation. Okay. So you're seated. The ball can stay behind you if you need to remind yourself that you shouldn't fall back. Okay. That's fine. So your legs are open and they're a little bit wider than your mat. Try to keep your knee joints straight. Pilates is about strengthening, and it's about flexion, extension, and strengthening around each joint. That's what keeps us strong, the connective tissue. Think about injuries you've had, okay? Say if you've had an injury in your knee or an injury in your shoulder, there's connective tissue there that's scar tissue. We got to work that out. And the only way we can do that is to lengthen and straighten our joints. So you're here, we're going to twist. So we're going to go into our saw. Twist. So my chest is lifted. My right hand is to the outside of my left foot. I'm leaning into this. I'm not going in like this, okay? I'm just leaning into this first. Taking my hand to the outside of that left foot, I'm going to saw off my left little toe. Come up. Twist, 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 twist. Hand to the outside of my right foot. I'm going to lean into it, and then I'm going to saw. 2, 3, come up. And again, hand, reach, and saw. 2, 3, come up. Let's twist, 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 twist. Reach, saw it off. Keep going. Reach. So the more you reach, you can feel quads, you can feel hamstrings, you can feel hip flexors, you can feel lower lumbar, you can feel lots of stuff here. Good for the hamstrings. And come up and release. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. All right, let's go into all fours. Palms are down. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to get us used to, this is what when I talked to you in the beginning of our class, when we imprint. Our imprinting should be happening seated, standing, and lying down. So you're here in space, right? We're just hanging out. It's real easy to let our bellies hang out. But we're going to work on that. We're going to first pull in right above the pubic bone, that transverse abdominal, pull it in. So pulling up, this is against gravity. This is a little bit harder work to do. Okay, so hold that. Now let's tuck the toes in. From this position, you're not going to be up here. You're going to be flat. I just want you to come back and out of this. So if you have a knee issue and this is uncomfortable, then of course you're not going to do it. You can stay here and just do your cat-cow. Two more. Good. Okay. Now flatten your back out and then let your tailbone lift up to the ceiling. Okay. And you have that place where your hips are dropping. You want to look out in front of you, but you're not going to lift your head up high. You're just going to look out in front of you. Now release it and go right into that cat. Inhale, exhale, back into that cow. And again, up, 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 up. That bony back of a cow. Keep going. But don't forget that your abdominals, you're in control of obliques, upper, lower, rectus abdominis. You feel it down towards the gluteus maximus. You're in control of this. So use those muscle contractions. Even if this is the only time during this day you're going to be contracting, do it. You're going to sleep well tonight. I promise. Okay, so you're up all the way into this cat. Your toes are still tucked. I want you to lift back into what we call child's pose, but you have your feet tucked. So what's the change here? What's the difference for this? Well, a lot of ankle work. This can really help footwork. Of course, if it's uncomfortable for you, you're not going to go into that. You know who you are and you know what you need to do. Listen to your body. Now we're going to come out of that and we're going to drop the foot flat and we're going to move back into a child's pose. Okay. So try to work your child's pose. If you find this is uncomfortable, you need a pillow underneath, do it. You need your ball underneath, do it. Whatever it takes for you to have an extension here. Now, if arms out is uncomfortable, bring your hands together and rest your head this way. You don't have to be long. You don't have to be your arms do not have to be long. You want your arms wide, go for a wider arm. Breathe into this. Okay. So we're coming down onto our tummies. Your palms, you're going to have your fists. They're going to be down onto your mat. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to be in this elbow. I don't want you to sag your body. I want you to lift. You're in control. Once again, your back. We have muscles right here called the serratus anterior that connect into the back of the traps and into the shoulders also. And they really make a difference on strength. And this is one way to really target into that space. So we're here. We're going to bring our legs completely together. So bring your heels together too. You might feel uncomfortable, but just challenge yourself if you can. So keep your heels together and your palms, you have a fist. So stay here, take a deep inhale and just exhale. You're really not moving. It's more your belly. Inhale, exhale. And again. Okay, now let's open our legs as wide as our mat. Your feet are flat, feet are long. Same thing, you can feel the pubic bone tighter to the mat. Same thing, inhale. And exhale. So feel your belly on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. One more. So when you're here, it is giving you the opportunity to feel your lower lumbar, your lower back. If you find this is uncomfortable and if there's some stress and you feel pressure there, almost like a, pushing in, then what you need to do is pull your belly tighter, because the tighter your belly, the less stress on your lower back. Now we're going to take our palms down and we're going to lift up here and then release to the elbow. Lift up. So if you start to feel this in your shoulder space, I want you to remind yourself to get out of the shoulder. Bring it back into your belly and into your upper back, into your obliques. Try to think away from your shoulder. Rest of your body's doing the work. One more. Very good. Okay, so we're coming down flat. So you're going to take your hands Remember our finger spray where we have our fingers slide together, resting our head weight, okay? So you're here. So once you get yourself all wiggled in, chest and your pubic bone are in the right place, I want you to bend into the left leg and flex that foot. Release it down and then straighten the foot. So you have a lift, flex, straight, lift, flex, down, straight, lift, flex, down, straighten the foot, flex, down, straighten the foot. Just keep doing that. Lift, flex, down, and straighten the foot. Okay. Now you're going to move your hands long beside you. You're going to bend this left leg. If you can hold on to the ankle space, go for it. Now notice, I don't want your right shoulder down. I want you to be plugged in, okay, at all times. Inhale, exhale. So now you're going to challenge this stretch a little bit. If you find you can't reach the ankle, you can always take a towel, wrap it around the ankle and hold on to the towel. If that's uncomfortable for your knee because you have a knee issue, then you're just going to lift and lower your legs like this, okay? Now I want you to lift your head, neck, and shoulder, still holding on to this leg. Feel the quadriceps stretching. So if the quad is stretching out, then your left hip is stretching out. And you're strengthening the opposing muscle group, giving the hamstrings an opportunity to release. Bring that left leg down. So now you're going to take your hand around the opposite leg. Hold this first, watch your left shoulder, keep it plugged. Now lift your head, neck, and shoulder a bit. Feel a tighter stretch. Remember, you're holding it. So that is a stretch, correct. It's also around the joint and connective tissue to the knee, to the hip. And release. Okay, so there is a movement here. So we're going to plug in. The movement is this. You're going to lift, release, lift, release. So see, I'm changing my feet. So I'm lifting and releasing. You can lift with a flex, you can lift with a point, you can keep your foot neutral, but just move yourself into this position. Keep your shoulders plugged. Okay, now with our hands beside us, okay, so my hands are right out my shoulders. I'm going to release my hands and my elbows down. So I'm going to pull my knees together, heels come together, and I'm going to create that Pilates V. So I'm going to rotate my hips. So what's happening is in the femur here, your heels come together, it's turning out, okay? Your toes are straight. Yes, you are going to feel this, especially down the IT. So in this position, we're going to push off here, release that, and then just lift the legs. So first the upper body, release that, and then the legs. Release that, and then the legs. Release. Okay. So take a rest for a minute. When you're lifting your legs, you want to make sure that you lift the full leg. You're in a total prone position, so you want to do a hip extension. So you're not just lifting your feet, you're lifting the whole leg, okay? Try to do that if you can. Even if you don't feel like your knee's coming off the mat, if you're trying to execute it, your body understands it, okay? So now the last thing we're going to do here on our belly is we're going to take our hands behind and we're going to keep the feet down. Let's go back to that Pilates V. Keep your heels together and we're going to lift and release. So we have an extension here. Very good. Come on up on all fours again. So what I like us to do is let's work some neck space. So you're in your you're on your fours. So let your head just drop. Then lift it straight. Let your head drop. Cautious of the rest of your body. Keep it nice and strong. And let it lift. And again, let your head just bring it on down. It's like it's floating, disconnecting. Take it off your neck. Take your head off your neck. Let's blow out all the dust and put it back on. Okay, so you're seated here. Now I'm going to ask you to get your ball or to get your block or to get your whatever, and you're going to sit on that, okay? So that's going to raise your hips up a little bit. You're going to cross your feet in front. Good. Got a straight back here. So let's just stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Come out of that. It's like a little, look like a windmill, side to side. Open up your hips. So good.
It's 11:15, Sheila.
Thank you, Allie. Great. Okay. So let's roll the shoulders back and down. Okay. For the neck and for the release of the neck, let's just bring the chin to the chest. Roll to the inside right. Bring it on back. Roll to the left. Bring it on back. Use your breath. Come center. Lift the head weight up. Okay, I want you to go back. I want you to lay down again on your back. We need to do some leg circles. Get us motivated here for strong legs, right? Okay. So first things first, your feet are flat. Pull that back, down, 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 okay? Now I wanna release my left leg, keep my left foot flexed in the plantar flexion, and I'm gonna hold on to the right tibia and fibula. So I'm pressing my quad on my rib cage. My back is really long. Then I'm gonna release both feet or both hands beside me. As I raise my leg up to the ceiling, I need to be conscious of my knee. So if I raise my leg up, I don't want my knee bent, I want my knee straight. So if I find that my knee straight is here, if it's here, stay there. Now, another thing is look at your foot. If your foot is turned in, rotate it out, like your toe is pointed out, like in a plie. We're getting ready to be the next dancers at the Pennsylvania Ballet, okay? So point the toe, straighten the knee. Then I want you to take the leg down in an oval, raise it up, all the way down over the mat, inside the body and up. So you're going to come out as far as you come in. You don't want it to be uneven. That's why it looks more like an oval. Hold it down there and reverse. So when I put people on my reformer, or if they're on a tower system, the Cadillac, the true method is not to take your leg too far outside. It's been shown from some people who have trained that if they take their leg out too far, they could actually do some damage to the inner thigh. Pull the knee in. And it's not about the leg as much as it is the abdominals. We're supposed to be working our abs. Okay, left knee in. Right leg is long. Hold, hold, hold. My right leg is long. My left leg is tight and in. Release. Leg to the ceiling. Knee is straight. So I'm going to point out. So turn out that foot. Bring it across the body. Side. If you find it's grabbing on you, just get your energy, like think positive to that space. Don't let it affect your self-esteem. Sometimes movement, people get really hung up on their self-esteem and they feel like a failure. That is so far from the truth. When you listen to people in Special Olympics who do movements, especially people who are wheelchair bound, you really get a totally different idea of what movement is. Lift up and let's reverse it. Work that leg, make sure you don't go out too far. You're coming in across the body. One more. And release it. Okay, feet are flat. So let's do a bridge while we're here. So we're going to articulate the spine, which means we're going to move our back into a place where we're going to lift up on the base of the scapula and think length, okay? So first things first, feet are flat, knees are bent. Pull your back to the mat. Press it down. Articulate and lift. So I'm rolling up over my lower back, coming up, and I'm situated just below the scapula. So why is it important to be here? Well, right away, I can turn my head, I can move my neck, there's no problems. If I come up a little bit higher, really causing less movement and it's impinging and it's really impeding the movement. So now inhale, lower my back first. Feel like somebody has their fingers on my rib and each vertebra, one at a time, is coming down, 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 flat. Let's try it again. Roll it up, roll it up. Feel the length. Bring it on down. Oh, it's so good. Tailbone. And up. Inhale. Use your breath. And one more. Okay, far out. We're nice and flat. Now let's bring our knees in, okay? Let's bring our feet up. So hands behind. And let's hold on to happy baby. Because we're all very happy right now. Our backs feel good. They're nice and open. This really stretches the lower part and literally slides it out. I mean, we don't need to talk about why it needs to slide out. It's nice and length. You can feel the stretch there. Open it up. Come in. So let's sit ourselves up. Okay, so I have 11:23. So I'm going to have you guys stand and we're going to do a little bit of weights. Okay, so you have your hand weights if you can get them.
You're muted, Sheila. There you go.
Hand weights, hand weights. If you're using your hand weights every week, which I know you are, and you're probably using them more than once a week, you're probably doing it at least 4 or 5 times a week, right? If you are, then you want to move up at least 1 pound more. So feet are about hip width apart, shoulders are back and down. So alignment, right? We always talk about soft knee, tailbone tucked under, belly pulled in. I always think of this as trying to get your zipper up on your blue jeans. So shoulders are back. Now we're gonna curl the arm, release it. Curl. Curl up. Inhale. Use your breath. Always, always, always use your breath. Two more. Cool. All righty. Now we're going to take our arms out here. So you're holding onto your weights. Let's do one at a time. Keep your knees soft. Press up. Full extension. Bring it right outside. And outside. Up. So see how when you extend, you want to make sure that your knee is soft. You never lock down. Okay, hold that now. Both weights, we're going to press both up. Extend and down. Extend. So we can't forget about our tummy. So if I'm sideways looking at you, my knees are soft, my tailbone's tucked under, then I am really supporting my back as well as my abdominals. But if I lock out my knees, throw out my tush, my stomach comes forward and I'm at a risk. So you don't want to be at that same risk. And take it down. Very good. Shoulders roll them out, roll them out. Okay. Now you're going to do a upright row. So we're going to pull up, take it up, stand nice and tall. Now, can you do your weights seated? Absolutely. Use a chair that has no arms, and you can do everything we're doing. When I work out at a gym, I usually sit to do my arm work. It just works better for me. And release. So you're going to hold both weights in your hands. You're going to lift up, bring it behind you. So if it's behind you, you want to make sure that your elbows are placed in a proper way. You're not here, okay? You're wide open. You're holding on to your weights. Your hands are back. The weight is straight down. You're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. Keep going. One more. Up, 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 up. Take it down all the way because that's where you're getting your flexion. Lift up and release it. So place your weights on the floor. One more stretch. So we're going to take our feet hip width apart. We're going to just sweep our arms outside first. Then you're going to stand on your toes as you lift your arms and then release it. And again, up, 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 and down. Come up, straight up, and down. One more. Roll your shoulders out. We did it again.